the new edition of The Listener, More Than Meets the Eye. Joan Bakewell asks what future has passive protest. Graham Fuller looks at the new movie Bird, directed by Clint Eastwood. Stephen Fry offers advice to Neil Kinnock on coping with Mrs. Thatcher. And Die Fledermaus in Glasgow. Simon Callow on taking Strauss to Scotland. All in the new edition of The Listener.
Well, now on BBC One, we're returning to Manchester for today's main edition of Open Air.
Hello, welcome back to Open Air. Have we got a busy show for you today? And if all the technology works, well, it should be a lot of fun, because today men, women and children from all over the country are invited to become part of the Day in the Life of Television. It's a unique project launched by the British Film Institute to record the nation's experience of and feelings about television. All the diaries, whether from the general public or from people working within the industry, will be filed in the BFI archives and made available for future researchers. Now, some extracts will form part of a book to be published in November 1989, not far to the end of the decade. So, if you're keeping a diary, do ring us now on 061 814 0424 and tell us how television affects your life on this day, November the 1st, 1988. And you can also ring pop star and punk recipe inventor Cheryl Baker. Her BBC One early bird children's show, Eggs and Baker, must have turned a few hairs grey, but the kids do love it. Now, Cheryl has been force-feeding Robert jelly baby sandwiches.
Yes, and I've just ungummed my teeth in time to speak to Michael Grade, who's the chief executive of Channel 4, in his tele-mogul office. Now, Michael Grade, you're a patron of this particular exercise by the British Film Institute. So can you tell us why you think it's an important or significant exercise? Ah, we're going in now. We're creeping in. And there he is. There's the tele-mogul's office, and there is Michael Grade. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Thank you very much for joining us in your red braces.
Oh, they're blue this morning.
Oh, they're blue, are they?
Yes, sorry about that.
It's my monitor. It's called television, you know. Michael, we've said that you're a patron of this exercise. Can you tell us if and why you think it's significant and important this day?
Well, of course, we don't know how significant it's going to be till we see the results, but the exciting thing about it, this is the first time I can ever remember in my life in broadcasting that the viewers themselves are, on such a mass scale, going to lend their voice to the perceptions of television. We all sit here in our offices thinking we know what the public think, so do politicians, but do we actually know? I think at the end of this exercise we may have a better insight into what people think.
Right, so there's never actually been a sort of mass survey on this scale about television tastes?
No, the nearest thing to it is Open Air, which we started at the BBC.
We remember well, and thank you for your help in that. Michael, just a thought that the BFI handout, the retiring president, Anthony Smith, says that it was a rather good moment to do this just now because he says it's an historic junction point. It's a snapshot of the end of the old public service era and the beginning of the new deregulated system. Was that part of the thinking?
No, I don't think so. I think it was an accident of timing, really. We're, what, 2 weeks away, possibly, from the publication of the government's plans for the future of broadcasting. We're going to have a massive expansion of the number of channels. We hope that that will mean more choice for the viewers, but we also hope that it'll mean that the best of what they enjoy at the moment will be preserved, and that includes, I hope, Channel 4.
Right. Now, as you know, we're asking everyone what they've got in their diary, and can we hear about your diary? I mean, you're a chief executive, Channel 4. What's in your diary today?
Well, there it is, the Channel 4 official diary.
Right.
I'll send you one for Christmas.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Basically, it's not too frantic a day because the whole morning's been ruined because the crew here have stopped me working. But I started this morning at home trying to... I've got a new satellite dish at home to pick up all this stuff from Europe, and I couldn't work it, so I've given up on that. I'll have to get a crash course. I'm doing this morning. I got a budget meeting about our drama when we finish this. I got lunch with a member of the Broadcasting Standards Council to find out and have a discussion about what they're looking to do. A budget meeting this afternoon about our religious programmes for next year.
Sounds a lot of fun, these budget meetings. I mean,
well, it's the key part of the year where we're deciding what money will be spent on what programmes and what the viewers are going to see.
yes.
So it's a fairly crucial time. And I've got an evening off this evening. I might get the chance for the first time for about 3 months to watch some television.
Have you any idea what you might be watching? I mean, I've got a paper with me now. There's South of the Border. Did you catch that? It's
Tonight, yes, I commissioned that originally at the BBC. I have high hopes of it. I haven't seen it yet. I should probably end up taking some cassettes home of Channel 4 programmes, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I understand about you executives, that trying to keep up with what is actually going out is very difficult for you, that you are seen kind of walking around with vast stacks of cassettes, and
Well,
you simply don't have enough time to view them.
I actually carry in my bag, if I can find it, I have to carry that around with me, which is a little television set, as you can see.
Oh, right.
To snatch moments. I haven't seen the new BBC One News yet, which I'm rather looking forward to seeing.
Right. So you actually commissioned South of the Border. Well, you'll be glad to hear, if you haven't seen it. It's really very smashing. It's very classy.
Do your viewers like it?
The feedback we had Buki on the program,
Right.
and the team, and the response has been very good, I think.
Oh, good. We had a new show last night with called David Lander Investigates, which is a lot of reading the duty log this morning, the thing that that people, as you know, phone in and give us their comments. And one or two people, I'm happy to say, took it seriously and wondered why the crooks weren't arrested at the end of the programme. It was, of course, a magnificent spoof.
I have to say to my ex-boss, I can say it because you're my ex-boss, I didn't like it very much, Mike.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, well.
No, I didn't.
That's why you're doing what you do and I do what I do.
Touchy, as I believe they say, touche. First Tuesday, that's always good. You'll be looking
Excellent.
at that?
I will try and watch that tonight, certainly. It depends what's happening. I will want to watch the news tonight because of the Israeli elections and the row in the House of Commons over the prescription, not the prescription, the eye testing and that row. So I should probably end up watching Newsnight, which I believe starts at 10:30 these days.
Yes. I have been asked through the ether to ask you how significant you think your diary will be in 50 years' time, your diary for today.
Very difficult to say because it depends what happens the rest of the day. So far, it looks like a fairly routine day. But on the other hand, most days are routine.
Yeah.
I think the discussion at lunch about the Broadcasting Standards Council, which is going to have a far-reaching effect on output on television, will be an important discussion, and I shall try and put that into the diary in some detail.
Right. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us today, and have a lot of fun at those wonderful budget meetings.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Pattie.
What's going on?
Well, of course, I mean, apparently.
What do you mean, apparently?
In a moment, we're going to be tuning up with that open air programme.
Well, what's all that then, open air?
I don't like open air. I mean,
Well, how does it affect you?
I suffer from agoraphobia, don't I? I don't like open air.
No, you don't like it.
And things. And apparently,
Yeah,
you think I'm a funny-looking bird, but I've got a funny-looking bird in the bird.
On open air? What, funny-looking bird on open
In
air?
open air, apparently, yeah.
What's she, a griffin or a turtle or something like that?
Hang on,
Have you done? Have you done, you lot?
Hello?
Yes,
Have you
hello.
done? I'm going down in history today. I
Oh,
suppose
yes.
you are too.
Yes, indeed, apparently, yes.
Which
going
one
down.
of you is Robert?
Well, I'm Bobby, and this is Mill. This is Mill, take the part of Dave Lee. So,
Dave Lee Turtle.
we're dressed up like a turtle and a griffin. This is the real Bobby Davro speaking here, folks.
Bobby, hello.
Hello.
Have you learned to write yet? Are you doing a diary?
Well, we are doing a diary as such. When I get a chance to make an entry, we're at the moment filming a Christmas special down at TVS.
Yeah.
And this is part of this, if you can see at the back here, I'm dressed up as a giant bird-like creature.
Yes, like you do.
Like I do regularly,
Yeah.
of course.
And how do you think viewers are going to see you in 50 years' time? I mean, they're going to look back at this and think, what a load of loonies.
Yes, very much so. I hope so. Comedy is such a strange thing with television. It's something that is endless. I mean, you can watch some programmes on TV, comedy shows, and you still often 50 years ago you can see sort of things Is it 50 years? Television been going for 50 years? I don't know.
30, I think, haven't it?
Yeah, 30 years, sorry.
30.
But some of the early comedy on television I laugh at still, so it's endless, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and some would argue that it's never improved, dear.
Yeah, well, some of my jokes are 30 years old.
Have you got the producer there, Nigel Lithgow?
No, Nigel's upstairs.
He's inside the shell.
He's up in the box somewhere.
What are you supposed to be, love? What are those big things sticking out of your head?
His ears.
Ears.
His ears. He's very sensitive about that.
How long did it take you to get into all this? That's one of the obvious questions. Presumably you'll be telling us about the problems of being funny in a bird outfit with big ears.
Well, since I was a terrapin, really.
Ever since he was a terrapin,
Ever
that's
since
right.
I was a terrapin, I've grown. I was a newt.
Right, that's it. Well, you were certainly like a newt last night, weren't you? All that drink you'd maybe have, you're not crossing down yourself. And it took about half an hour to get into all this gear.
Thank you very much indeed for going to this effort. Do you realise you will go down in history with...
a bit like Gregory Peck.
looking pretty silly. Thanks very much, Bobby.
That's
and,
a pleasure.
Practice your writing and send in your diary, OK, look. Cheers. No, Michael. Now then, let us now whiz to Television Centre in London, where, in the fourth dimension, we may find a Mr. Paul Daniels. Paul, are you there? Is there anybody there?
You push that forward and you put that up on there. And,
Hello.
Oh, hello, yes.
Are you fiddling with a matchbox, love?
Well, we weren't sure when you were coming through, so...
Well, we're with you now.
We bash on regardless here, you know.
What are you doing, Paul?
Well, it's a continuum. It's my total life is inside here at the moment. Last night we did a live show, and I left that site at about 12, so midnight. So I will be recording that because it's part of the 24-hour day.
So you must be shattered.
There are other words more suitable. However, I'll be here now till about 10:30 to 11 tonight. I got home about 1:30. I was up about 8 o'clock, maybe 7:45, and did a couple of hours office work, and then came into the studios where the set had been built.
Overnight, that is?
Yeah, they set that up. And normally we're in studios 2 days, but with the live one yesterday, this is, first of all, a slow walkthrough of everything we'll do tonight, so the cameras can learn the choreography. People sit in, like Simon here, and pretend to be the people we'll get out of the audience.
Can we see Simon? Who's Simon?
It's not a pretty sight.
Hello, Simon.
Hello, good
What do
morning.
you do, Simon?
I'm the production manager.
Right, so you have to pretend to be the stooge, in a way, with the
That's
magic
right. I
act.
stand in the positions that we'll be using to people in tonight.
Right, so it's a very fast turnover, isn't it?
Been very quick this last few days.
Yeah, and when will this be transmitted, Paul?
Oh, it may escape in early part of the new year. What we do is we start, I think the first transmission will be the Christmas show,
Right.
and then they usually run on one a week after that.
Right, Paul, can I just clear something up? We are a democratic programme. Last night's programme, you say, was live. I didn't realise that.
Oh, wacky thump, yes.
We had quite a few people worried that you were using the occult and that
Well,
this wasn't
yeah.
magic. What would you say to them?
Well, no, it's all magic. If you're daft enough to believe in the occult, it will affect you. And if you're sensible enough to not believe in the occult, it won't touch you whatsoever.
Right, so as far as you're concerned, it's all magic.
It's all conjuring, it's all trickery.
Right.
Sadly, some of it does control some people's lives and mental thinking, and it's a shame.
Have you got anything you might just show us today that you're working through at the moment? I wouldn't expect you being a member of the Magic Circle to give anything away, but have you anything you could show us for the viewers of 50 years ahead?
Oh, that good. No.
Perhaps the standards will have dropped by then, Paul. I don't know.
Well, television will have changed by then, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be all computerized memories instead of videotape, and it'll and the freeze frames will be absolutely perfect, and they'll see probably exactly how this is done, where you take the 10 of spades and you stroke it, and it changes, and it's not behind there, and it's not behind there. And this, well, that's not the 10 of spades, and it's got nothing to do with it, really. Yeah. I don't think the freeze frame will help on that one.
You don't actually cheat, do you, and use television technology to do these tricks, Paul?
No, I don't use any kind of television trickery. We don't use stooges out of the audience. They're all just picked at random on the night. We don't preset anything with them. Sometimes to save a bit of time, we'll say, look, we're going to ask you to think of a number, just think of a number. That's as far as we go.
Right.
And
When are you going to have time to write this diary, Paul?
I've already started. I carry around with me a small recorder.
Yeah.
And on the way home last night, I said, this is Paul Daniels, magician, 1988, leaving an outside broadcast at Allington Castle, over and out. And when I got in, you know, I got into bed, this is Paul Daniels going to sleep. Yeah. So my secretary will type all that up. Yeah.
Will you, do you think, be around in 50 years' time? People like you, magicians, do you think it's going to carry on? Because it's an old art, isn't it?
Magic is the only totally international and totally timeless art form. If you look at paintings on the caves, they're not quite of today. If you look at the music of the East and the West, it's completely different. Thanks to this medium now, it's all melding together. But magic, if I vanished a pebble in the Sahara Desert 2,000 years ago, it would just be as impressive as it would be in the next century in Metropolis.
How old would you be in 50 years' time, Paul?
I would be 100 years old, but of course I'm already older than that.
And with that conundrum, I say thank you very much indeed, Paul. I'm sorry to interrupt your obviously very busy schedule, but that'll be a diary worth reading by the end of today. Good luck to you, thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
We've got a...
Good morning. Bill, just before we hear what the historic weather is going to be, your own diary, I mean, are you keeping a television diary today?
Oh, indeed, yes. That's one of the main objects I've got this evening. I'm going to sit down, think about all the things that went on today, all the things that went right, all the things that went wrong, and yeah, jot them down, certainly.
Well, just tell us, I mean, your day starts when? I don't know.
My day started 5:30 this morning, up and ready. I was into Television Centre by 6:30, ready to do the first broadcast at 9 o'clock, and you appreciate now that we broadcast at least every hour, so we have to keep up to date with that one.
Right. Bill, in terms of television, I presume the greatest change that we've seen are the satellite pictures and this wonderful ability which you now have to show us the clouds moving and the weather changing. Would you agree that that's the big difference?
I think certainly it's the big difference from our point of view. We can actually show you and tell you the weather picture much easier and much better form than we ever used to do. And of course what we do now here, unlike many other broadcasting or weather forecast broadcasting, is we can take you into the future with these pictures. We have a look from the big mainframe computers at the Met Office at Bracknell, and they will produce forecast charts. So we show you how the rain's going to move in the next 36 hours or whatever.
Right. Nasty one has just come through the ether, Bill. Don't blame me. It's them, the governors. They say, ask poor Bill Giles, asking what the weather forecast in 50 years' time is going to be. Well, everyone tells us hothouse effect and it's all going to get warmer and so on. Right, what's it going to be in 50 years' time?
Oh, I think coming into November, 50 years' time, temperature probably about 13 degrees Celsius. We will all be using Celsius then, Bob, because we won't have this old-fashioned temperatures that you use, and with a bit of luck, some sunshine, don't you think?
Yeah, but do you think our climate is generally going to be, as everyone seems to say, wetter and warmer?
There are moves, and we're looking at this in great detail now, and of course, and there are some indications that the temperature is getting a little higher, and it's something we're monitoring. It's, yes, there's every chance, I think, if we keep throwing the fossil fuels into the atmosphere, that the temperature will get a little higher, but not everywhere, of course. Knowing my luck, it'll be colder where I am.
Last question, will the television weatherman still be with us in 50 years' time?
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be any of the crew that I've got here at the moment, but I've no doubt Jack Scott will still be around.
Right, Bill.